Hey guys, how are you doing? How are you doing? So, first day 2025, uranium stocks updates. There is actually some good entries very close by here, hopefully, especially I think it is UEC. You could be buying it right here, right now. Yeah, it sounds insane to buy uranium stocks, after 2024, I know. But I think we could have a 2025 where the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust will break out of that blue bull flag. I just did a video on that. You can check it out. If that happens, miners will most likely, again, nothing is 100%, but they will most likely do really well with a big spike here. We are basically talking a spike in the Sprott Physical of roughly, boom, to there, 100%. Again, what would that do to the overall uranium spot price? Higher, right? So that is the big one here. You could sometimes you see people, the big guys, going into speculative plays before the commodity itself breaks out. But let's have a look, guys. What's going on here? I have marked them here yellow. So we're talking Sprott Physical, Cameco, UEC, Energy Fuels, Forsys Metals, FUU, Oklo. Good setups, I think, with stop losses that is really easy to handle. We will start not with U.UN. You can check the video that I did, the top, not top five, but five stocks for 2025. Cameco. I will say this though, it's not a how to say this one. It's not a setup that I use often, but it is a place where I think we are coming down to some support here, and you could play Cameco for a bounce. Um, and you can see here the 2 hourly. I will say if we start to break the 2 hourly here, we have a downtrend sloping wedge pattern going on here. I think it's safe to say that we are at least going to see a bounce here. So if we start to close above 52, you can buy into Cameco, and you have a stop below like 50. Maybe, yeah, 50. 50 is good. Targets a little bit difficult because it is such a expanding volatility. So again, it's one that I think we have to quite, monetize for a bit to see. But you have this whole expanding megaphone here. So if we start to rally and we have a good rally, we could have a chance. We could have a chance of a break out of the megaphone. And usually that is when you're going to see big moves, daily gap ups, and all that. Um, so again, that is Cameco, not my preferred or anything, but I think we could see at least a little bit of a push here, at least up to at least like 10-14%. So depending on how you want to play that, it's up to you, of course. The downside is, of course, hey, we have some dangers ahead here, right? So that is why we want this to be a strong push, ideally getting above at least the left shoulder, potential left shoulder. So we're getting up to here, because then all of a sudden, again, the stronger the right shoulder, the bigger the chance it has to negate. We don't want this little and then that is not good. We want momentum, heavy momentum. UEC, yep, you can buy UEC right here if you want to. You have the highs here from 2024 initially. We tagged it once, 3 times, broken the fourth, retesting here. I'll go to the daily. It's easier to see. It's much easier to see. So I will remove those circles from the weekly chart. Highs, tag, break, retest, retest. You can buy it here again. Look at the amount of down days, really. We're basically going straight down through the entire December. And we're getting to here. Stop loss anywhere below. I will say stop loss should be roughly around, depending on how you want to do it. But again, just use like a 5% for this one. I think you should be good. You can always buy back if it pops back up again. But UEC here, if you want to add, want to buy, makes a lot of sense here. It's not one of those where you just go load the boat. Load the boat, in my opinion, is if you hit the longer term trend lines. In this case, let's say we're going to bounce here, we're going to come down and tag. This is in 2026, by the way. That is when you start to, hey, I'm going extremely long with a stop below, obviously. So it's a different one here, but we should see at least a bounce here also for UEC. UUU, also a bit more speculative entry, I will say. You have this whole downtrend here from basically 2024, a little bit of 23 as well. Breaking out here, tag, okay, cool, and tag again. Very similar to the Cameco, but with a bit more, I wouldn't say bullish view, but again, you're having, yeah, I don't know the exact word for it here. So I will say you can go long. Look at that beautiful short term. This is from November, by the way. Very clean, boom, 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 boom. Retest. If we break above here, let's say we get above 5.25, so 5.25, you go long, you have a stop, you have your stop below. Roughly here, you're risking like 5%, maybe a little bit more to get below, like 7%. And you basically, in my opinion, have a decent chance of getting well into 50% of that move down here at least. It could also be a longer term hold because we're getting back into the wedge, and then all of a sudden you have the potential for the big breakout of this whole 4-year bad boy right there, which is not picture perfect, but we have that one also. Ideally, this was the right shoulder, but again, we still have the potential of a larger right shoulder, but really need to hold here the left shoulder lows, just like we talked about on the previous chart here. If we hold here, we actually have a beautiful symmetry. Timing wise, time decay and all that, it is a beauty. And yeah, you have a good entry here, in my opinion, to reach the neckline right here and hopefully break that, 7 to 7.5. And that is when the big stuff is happening. So I really like it here. Maybe wait for like a daily close just to see, the momentum. We need a, like a strong momentum change, right? And then we can start to move. Could we have something like that here? That would be awesome, right? Initial spike here in the first week of 2025. Left shoulder, excuse me, right shoulder, then we break. You have the bottoming, you have the retesting, and then at least you're going higher, right? So Forsys Metals, a smaller guy, I think it's 130 million. Long term, this is still a beautiful, in my opinion, setup here. You have the entire downtrend, the sideways, the breaking out, the retesting over here. Then you started to form this 8-year uptrend, and we're actually tagging it here today. And you can see we tagged it here. Again, we have to, it's not picture, there it is. So we tagged it here, and if we break the made highs here, down to here, I think it will. We have that little bull flag below. You break it here, we're getting, let's say 0.7. You go long, daily close above here, close to 0.7, ideally higher. You have your stop below the uptrend, the 8-year uptrend. So basically at like 0.5. I know it's a, percentage-wise, it is rather big. But again, the entire thesis is that we are playing the uptrend here, right? We're playing that uptrend, and we could actually have this whole thing play out where we're going to see like 18, excuse me, like, $4 to like $10 for the Forsys Metals. We are now at 0.6. So again, you're risking, again, where are you long position there? Risking this target. The first one could be, roughly here at 116, excuse me, 1.16. That's a 4-to-1. If we break the highs there of 1.3, it open up and move to like, $4 up here. So then you're having 33-to-1. So really tight entry here, in my opinion, for Forsys Metals, and you can get out as well quite easily. So yeah, that's the breakout here. Forsys Metals could be a big winner, could be a big player here. FUU, FUU had been a drag. I think they had some financing also, which never helps, but we have this whole downtrend here where we finally broke here, testing it really cool, tried to rally into the highs over here, as you can see there, and we couldn't quite break, and I had to sell there. That's when I sold it. So now we're down here at roughly 0.24, and look at that, we have support down here, and you have a clean, very clean trend line. So the triangle is in play. That's the one to look for. A break to the upside, boom, right? Depending on when it happens, you have your stock below the long-term support, and you can easily ride it to like 1.55. But I think we could also be again for that tag getting sold out, and then we can break. But I would be looking for a triangle high play here at 0.5 if you want to trade that. The uptrend here is also somewhat good here. So yeah. Again, I think I mentioned we have one more. We have Oklo. The setup here hasn't changed compared to last time I gave the setup here for Oklo. For some reason, my horizontals were missing. But again, massive rally. By the way, the Nukes ETF has done really well in 2024. That is a uranium play, but not on the miners. It's more on the enrichment, laser enrichment. You have the SMR companies. You have, electricity companies behind the scenes doing a lot of, maintenance, all that good stuff. Has done really well. And Oklo, oh boy, right, has it done well. It's just from the lows 5 to like 30, and now we are consolidating here. Really clean, good setup. If we bounce here and break basically above like 25 and change, you're having a move, in my opinion. And let's say we break here, you're having a move potentially to like 100, depending on how and when we get there. But absolutely amazing setup here. So anything above 25 is your entry for Oklo. Stop loss will be that lower trend line here initially. So yeah, really cool. So we can have that break. You can also buy the retest if you want to, if we're getting that, which I think we will, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, breaking on the 5th in this case. So I think we're getting a check back just to say, are we good? And then we're going to go higher. Looks really, really strong as well. So again, it doesn't take much for these somewhat small companies in the uranium sector to actually start moving. Remember that. It doesn't take much. But again, we are close, but no cigar. So yeah, these are the setups. But I would mainly, if you want to have a big focus, it should be on the U.UN, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Again, if we are going to, again, getting about that 26, 27 here, the spot price should be moving really fast. And we are also close to the all-time highs here, which I said it from the get-go when we started to. I can't remember where exactly it was, but this is like a year ago that we're gonna see that tag of the all-time high hit. We simply are. It's just too picture perfect not to have that break. You can see that whole fractal here, and then boom, blasting higher. Usually you get to all-time highs. So yeah, I'm very excited here. For how long do we have to wait for this to resolve, basically? I will say the January plus February. Yeah, 2 months, 1.5, I think, the most. So cheers, guys. Again, comment below, questions, all that good stuff. Cheers, guys. Bye.